have been here in Fort Worth, actually all throughout the night and this morning. And so I got to tell you right now, I think what's making it tolerable, so to speak, is that the precipitation itself has stopped. The wind is slightly picking up, and obviously it's very slippery as I'm kind of just walking around and show you what it looks like. The streets here all clear here at Sundance Square. I also want to take you around town. This is video that we gathered all throughout the day. Around town, we're seeing that crews are out there. They're doing the best they can to make sure that the roads are clear. But of course, there is, a sheet of ice, and we saw essential workers out there loading and unloading off of the trucks, making sure that these sidewalks are clean. And as I'm standing over here, we just saw a postal worker. She was out here. She was doing what she had to do. Other folks that we had spoken to, one man coming in from Minnesota, and he tells me that, hey, look, I came here to escape the snow and all of this bad weather. And sure enough, we got hit with this storm, and he's afraid his flight will be canceled later today. And another man coming from Wisconsin, he taught us how to drive in this weather. Take a listen.
Go slow, watch your speed, don't take off too fast, give yourself enough time to stop. Definitely don't follow too closely.
And that is great advice. And we have been seeing a lot of the folks here in this Sundance Square area taking it slow, kind of like the gentleman is behind me.
The ice rules here in Denton because it is everywhere. This is Lillian B. Miller Parkway you see here. This is one of the hills. There are a lot of hills here in Denton that drivers are having to navigate. The ice is everywhere, as I mentioned, including the sidewalks like this. Every sidewalk looks like this. I've been having to walk around like this just to keep my balance here on the sidewalks. At 2:30 this afternoon, I got an alert on my phone from Denton County that we are under an ice storm warning. But check this out. Earlier today, I ran across some college students who got cabin fever and decided to take advantage of the ice. They grabbed some makeshift sleds, braved the cold, and hit the hills on campus. While many residents are staying inside, as officials have asked us to do, some students feel like the winter weather will be gone soon enough, and there's no time like the present to enjoy it while it's here.
I'm not really a big fan of staying inside indoors. And I did this last summer with my family, or last winter with my family before I moved out. I was like, there's hills, might as well do it.
Now, because of the bitter cold, the students, they did take warm-up breaks. Now, if you're staying inside, continue to do so. Many of the businesses that we saw while driving over here were closed. The restaurants, the nail shops, everything is shut down. So you might as well stay inside. And another reason is because of that ice storm warning, things will get worse before they get better.
Well, this might be the first time. It has gone well. We don't want to jinx it, but it's gone well so far today. Like I said, standing here 2 years ago, certainly this was not the place to be. It was completely shut down. But let's give you a look at it right now. It's been open all day. Treacherous, but it's been open. But I want to show you a difference here. We're looking north on 75, north toward Plano and McKinney and all parts north. This is 75 north. And so if you look at the ramp to the far right, that's the ramp that goes to 635 east and west. It looks mostly open because it's had snow plows on it, it had brine on it, it had sand on it. But if you look over to the other side, the southbound ramp coming from 635, you can see that it's got a lot more ice and snow on it. And that's because as cars carry this sand, they carry this brine with it. It only goes so far. When you get up to the top of the high five, much more elevated, much colder in terms of the surface itself. You're still going to find at the very top and then coming down that you've got a lot more ice and snow that you might not have expected. But again, it is passable, it is open, but as always, be careful, take it slow so that we don't have problems like we've had here every winter storm before. Back to you.
Kevin, before I let you go here, Pete wants to know, how long have you been camped out in that spot?
What are my hours today? 10 a.m. We've been closely monitoring this from, and I don't know what hat the Scoop Jefferson had, but I got to break out my Trojan hat today.
That'll work.
Go Trojans. next year.
I wanted to explain to you guys what we're doing to actually protect our camera right now from this sleet. Thomas has an umbrella to his left, an umbrella above him, and he's standing under the hood of his car because it's been coming down very consistently, probably for the last half an hour now. And I just want to show you guys this. For the last 15 minutes, I've been collecting the sleet in this umbrella. You know what? It's a good amount here, and that is what we're getting, you know, pretty consistently, again, like I mentioned. So if you look at the sidewalk behind me, if you look at the street that's next to me, the cars, it's all accumulating. You want to be extremely careful if you are stepping out into your neighborhood this morning. It is slippery, it is icy right now, and it's extremely cold, so stay inside if you can. The Collin County Sheriff's Office is also encouraging people to not get on the roads if at all possible.
Yeah, I'm seeing something unlike anything I've ever seen before. Right now we are on I-20 westbound, just off the road here at 408 Spur, near Clark Road exit. And I want to show you what I'm talking about. So just behind us here, to give you a sense, about, I don't know, a half hour ago, there were 5, 6, 18-wheelers that were totally stuck here that couldn't make it up the hill because, frankly, this is a total sheet of ice, just a total sheet that you could just slide down. Then all of a sudden, about a dozen Jeeps from an off-road club showed up and started towing these trucks out one at a time. Then about, I would say, 5 minutes ago, we had 6 or 7 TxDOT crews come by because, frankly, what we were hearing from these truckers is, I've driven through Colorado, I've driven through Minnesota, and I've never seen anything like this. They really were sharing their frustrations, frankly, for TxDOT for not protecting the roads. And we had 6 or 7 of those TxDOT trucks driving backwards, like in reverse, down I-20 here, laying down a brine solution and a salt solution. And now you can see behind me here on the interstate, both cars and trucks are slowly but surely able to make it up this hill. But at this point, if you look way off in the distance up behind us here, we're kind of in this Duncanville area. This backup goes on for miles at this point. And at this point, like I said, there's just these Jeeps and trucks trying to slowly but surely pull out cars. And certainly you see that maybe, you know, one car at a time, somebody, you know, helping out a friend or somebody seeing somebody stranded along the side of the road. But this isn't even, this is not roadside assistance. This is just a Jeep club, frankly, that's really kind of saving the day, along with, again, like I said just moments ago, that kind of fleet of TxDOT crews that have come in here.
And this can all be really deceptive. You know, you're probably looking out your window, you're seeing this, and you're thinking, oh, it's a dusting. This is not a dusting. This is snow and this is sleet. I want to show you. I've got a little implement in my hand here so I can show you. We're just going to carve right into here and show you just how deep this is. Now this is sleet. There's probably about an inch of sleet just on top of the ice. Inside here is the ice. This is what those city roads and those county roads are looking like. And we're here at FM 544 for a reason, because there are multiple entities involved in just clearing up the roads nearby you. And we get asked all the time, who is responsible for the roads near my home? Well, we want to show you some of this. Cities are responsible for your city roads. TxDOT is responsible for the state highways, the farm to market roads, the spur roads, the Texpress roads. The counties are responsible for your county roads, the unincorporated areas. NTTA toll roads, well, the NTTA is responsible for that. Your private roads, the housing developments, you're responsible for that. Your private companies are responsible for those private roads and also those HOAs. Now, we had a chance to talk with the City of Plano Public Works Director. He says they've had 10 calls already. All 10 of those calls were for stalled out vehicles. We also had one crash. We're still trying to figure out what the injuries are on that. And we just heard from Pete, the conditions aren't going to get any better. They're only going to get worse. So please be wary. And if you don't have to be out here, I know you hear it all the time, but really listen. If you don't have to be out here, don't. Jason, back to you.
Jobin, thank you so much for taking us through that top layer to reveal what is underneath, because it can look stable enough when you're about to walk out on this, but that is super slippery right there beneath that little layer of sleet that you showed us.
It sure is. And it's deceptive, and it's really deceptive, Jason, because you look out and you think it's a dusting. A dusting is powdery, and this is not that. This is ice.
So it's not much different, but we did get it a little bit earlier, so you could see that it is really white. I would say it's probably 1/4 of an inch, and so it's very slippery as well. Now, one of the things that we're doing here at the Fort Worth Livestock Show is talking to some of the folks who are here Specifically the families, I mean, we've seen so many families go by. They've been here overnight since 1 a.m. and they're telling us that, you know, they're not used to this weather. In fact, you can see that there's a snow angel, or should I say maybe ice angel, sleet angel, something like that. So they're having some fun with it, but especially on those roadways, one of the other folks who I was talking with, I asked, hey, you know, did you just come in? She goes, yeah, no, but you don't want to talk to me. You know, I just came from across the street. And I said, well, how was your drive? She said, oh, I was slipping and sliding everywhere. And she's right across the street. So if you have to make that long distance drive today, you better be safe. You don't want to be sorry, because even across the street, even that one block, it is really dangerous out there. When you put on your brakes, you are going to slip. So especially in these conditions, please take it slow on the roads. Don't go out if you don't have to, as we've been saying. But if you are, you know, either an essential worker or you are here at the livestock show, I mean, the grand prize last year was $300,000. So these families are not giving that up. I mean, this is something that you don't want to dismiss. You don't want to, you want to take it seriously. So, of course, with that said, that's the situations here in Fort Worth and Tarrant County.
The roads, though, are not great. Fortunately, not a lot of people out on the road right now, but you can see we've seen a lot of the TxDOT trucks. In fact, I'd say about half the vehicles we even see go by are either a TxDOT truck or one of the trucks putting the brine down, some kind of road maintenance vehicle. That is the good news, because last night, this area at 35 was a complete mess. People coming home. I got tweets from people saying that it took them a couple hours, their evening commute, just because of the ice. And this place here in particular, the I-35 overpass right here in front of Buc-ee's, was a real trouble spot because the 18-wheelers were getting stuck. But fortunately, not near as many people on the road right now. In fact, you know, you want to know how dead it is on the road? Buc-ee's pretty much has no one at the gas pumps. So that is something you rarely ever see. Usually Buc-ee's is packed, but still a treacherous situation on the roads. We know that. Bumpy, rocky in some places, that cobblestone effect that we often see after a couple days of slush and then refreezing. So we don't think the roads will get any better today. The Department of Emergency Management here in Denton County warning people that they expect things to get worse. So again, just urging everybody to stay home if they can help it.